The air was heavy with everything they couldn't say. He looked at her, his jaw tightening, as a wave of dread settled over him. In the room, the silence was a symphony of chaos, smelling faintly of ozone. Recognize that smell? The ozone, the symphony of chaos, the tight jaw. These are mechanical tells of unedited AI. It calculates the safest, most likely next word. This results in low perplexity and burstiness, prose landing dead center on the bell curve. Algorithms hunt for that mathematical safety to flag your work as artificial. But your readers feel it first. They recognize the flat, even rhythm and the emotional fog. Once the crowd catches the scent, the manuscript is dead on arrival. Fixing the output after it's made is a losing game. You must architect the specific conditions that make good output possible from the start. To get prose that reads as human, you must stop treating AI as an independent author. The AI is a fast, amoral intern that has read everything ever written and lived none of it. You have to direct it. The first rule of the production pipeline happens before you open the software. You provide the emotional weight. You provide the specific childhood memory, the layout of the kitchen, and the structural bones of the scene. Then you bring those bones into a professional ecosystem, tools like Novelcrafter or Claude Fable 5. These platforms rely on a system called Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG. This diagram illustrates how RAG works with a codex. Instead of trusting the AI to remember Chapter 1 while it drafts Chapter 20, you build a database of specific character rules. When you prompt the model, these details are retrieved and injected directly into the instructions. Next comes the interview phase. Before the AI writes a word, you force it to ask questions. It asks what the house smells like. You type back, "It reeks of her mother's menthols, and she quit pretending to hate it long ago." You then build the voice DNA by using style stacking. You instruct the model to mimic two authors whose styles naturally conflict, like the hard-boiled economy of a crime novelist, combined with the slow, sensory patience of a nature essayist. The tension between those clashing voices forcibly drags the AI's prose off its smooth, average centerline. Confined by your hyper-specific human rules and caught between conflicting styles, the model is mathematically blocked from generating its default, cliché-written output. Even with perfect upstream prompting, the model will occasionally slip. It will reach for safe metaphors, describing grief as water over stone, or sort adjectives into perfectly symmetrical groups of 3. This is where you apply the Slop dictionary. You scan the manuscript for the AI's favorite crutch words, delve, tapestry, testament, resonate, and you ruthlessly purge them, replacing them using the third thought technique. The AI's first metaphor for dread is a gathering storm. The second is a stone in the gut. Throw both away. Dig for the third thought. A mouth gone so dry the character has to practice swallowing before reaching for the door. Beyond individual words, the machine often gives itself away through rhythm. A model naturally writes sentences of the exact same length, resulting in a perfectly balanced, grammatically flawless, and lifeless paragraph. You fix this with the grubby pass. Act as the editor, deliberately roughing up the draft to mimic the natural, asymmetrical lurch of human thought. Chop smooth sentences into blunt fragments. Start lines with and or but. Inject statistically unlikely details, like a cheap third-grade ceramic mug, that a predictive algorithm would never think to invent. This deliberate roughening of the prose is what ultimately defeats beta detectors. The writing now possesses the messy, unpredictable rhythm of a human mind. Look at the final prose. It lurches, it feels visceral and grounded. Layering specific physical reality over the machine's drafting disrupts the statistical patterns that both software and human readers use to identify artificial text. This level of control has significant legal and commercial stakes. The U.S. Copyright Office and major publishing platforms require definitive proof of human authorship to register or sell a book. By executing this specific pipeline, you naturally generate that proof. Your original outlines, your codex entries, the prompt history, and the manual revisions of the grubby pass serve as a legal paper trail showing your labor. AI is an advanced cognitive prosthetic. It cannot replace the human soul. It merely provides the surface to push against. The best AI-assisted fiction survives scrutiny because, underneath the technology, it is a human story. It is directed hard, edited ruthlessly, and carries the undeniable fingerprints of a writer who actually lived.